You decide you're going to land a major promotion or finally switch to your dream career. You write down the goal and feel an immediate, motivating rush of excitement. But almost instantly, a very practical voice in your head chimes in. It starts rattling off your lack of experience, the terrible job market, and a laundry list of entirely logical anxieties explaining why this idea is a pipe dream. That negative voice is actually a built-in feature of your mind. Your brain actively scans for and filters out any new possibility that severely clashes with the reality you are already used to living in. It operates as a deeply ingrained protective mechanism to spare you from constant disappointment. Paradoxically, this same reflex acts as the single biggest obstacle you face when trying to make a real, intentional change in your life. Practitioners of a modern tradition called chaos magic have a name for this mechanism: the psychic censor. Think of your subconscious mind as an exclusive nightclub, and the censor is the massive bouncer standing guard up front. Every goal, desire, or intention you have is just a guest waiting in line, hoping to get past the velvet rope and actually take root in your deeper mind. This idea of an internal gatekeeper traces back to early 20th century psychoanalysis, specifically Sigmund Freud's models of how the conscious and unconscious mind interact. The bouncer's job is to check every incoming thought against your established beliefs. He turns it away at the door to keep your mind from feeling like its current reality is being interrupted or thrown into total conflict. While this filter keeps you sane and grounded during your everyday life, it puts up a solid roadblock the moment you actually want to shift your reality. When we want something badly, our natural human reflex is to fixate on it. We overplan, we worry, and we try to desperately mentally force the outcome into existence. Chaos magic refers to this highly anxious, obsessive energy as lust of result. Picture that same nightclub again. You walk up to the velvet rope sweating, trembling, and anxiously fumbling through your wallet for your ID. Behaving that way immediately flags you as a threat. The bouncer pulls you aside, scrutinizes you heavily, and inevitably tells you to take a walk. Wanting an outcome too desperately draws the censor's attention directly to your insecurity. You fuel your own self-sabotage, starving the intention of the belief it needs to grow. Since you cannot muscle your way past your own psychological defenses with sheer willpower, you have to rely on a little misdirection. One method is reaching a state called gnosis. This means deliberately altering your consciousness to temporarily short-circuit your normal, linear thinking. Imagine a loud, vibrant street parade suddenly marching right past the front of the nightclub, complete with flashing lights and heavy drums. Excitatory gnosis works exactly like this parade. By overwhelming your physical senses through intense focus, physical exertion, or chanting, you create a massive internal distraction. During that brief window of complete sensory overload, your intention can slip right past the velvet rope and into your subconscious, entirely unscrutinized. Gnosis shows us that the psychological wall is not invincible, it is simply a security guard, and every guard has a breaking point for attention. If sensory overload isn't your style, there is a much quieter method of subterfuge. It involves presenting your deepest desire as something completely mundane and unimportant. Practitioners call this indifferent vacuity. You go through the motions of setting your magical intention, but you do it with absolutely no emotional or intellectual attachment. Think of someone carrying a clipboard, looking utterly bored, who breezes right past the velvet rope without breaking stride. The censor completely ignores this person because it is programmed to screen for high-stakes, anxious desires, not routine paperwork. This posture isn't true apathy. It is a state of absolute confidence, acting as if the outcome is already a certainty and requires zero worry. Intentionally stripping your goal of its emotional weight creates a perfect disguise, allowing you to walk it casually past your own internal defenses. Once your goal successfully slips past the bouncer, you must immediately execute the critical final step, strategic forgetting. If you keep consciously checking on your goal to see if it's working, you drag that intention back out the front door and directly into his line of sight. Instead, as soon as your intention is set, deliberately drop the subject. Push the specific meaning of the goal entirely out of your conscious thought. Forgetting acts as a permanent seal. It locks your intention safely in your subconscious soil, giving it the space to grow away from the threat of self-sabotage. Chaos mages take these tricks a step further. They have discovered that once you can sneak one specific idea past the bouncer, you can eventually change the entire guest list of your mind. Advanced practitioners use this skill to step into completely different worldviews. They can lean fully into one logical mindset to get a job done and instantly swap it for a different outlook when it's no longer useful. This turns the bouncer from a roadblock into a tool you control. You gain the freedom to choose which perspective serves you in the moment, rather than letting a reflexive filter choose for you. So the next time doubt arises and tells you it's impossible, don't stand there arguing with it. Just grab your mental clipboard, look unbothered, and walk right past.